and welcome to another episode of the Bella Grace podcast, where we are helping high achievers break free from mindsets, behaviors, and addictions that are holding them back from reaching their true potential. And today we are doing that by talking to Rebekah Brumfield. She is a dynamic entrepreneur shaking things up in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area. Love Louisiana. As the engagement and outreach director for a prominent New Orleans nonprofit and a sought after media consultant, Rebekah collaborates with some of the biggest names in the industry. Her journey began as a respected social media journalist, laying the foundation for an impressive career. Beyond her behind the scenes work, Rebekah is the creative mind behind Jean Ellen Home and Lifestyle Collection, and the visionary behind Ophelia's Creole Razzle Dazzle Seasoning. Ooh, I want some of that. She's also known for conducting compelling interviews with national figures and for shaping digital content at BLK News Network. Is it Black? Is it just okay? Black News Network. Okay. Recently, Rebekah expanded her business ventures by launching Chrysalis. Did I say that right? Chrysalis?
Yeah.
Chrysalis Media and Chrysalis Media and Entertainment. Sorry, guys, I'm reading her bio. It's so good. I don't want to miss a single piece of it. Chrysalis Media and Entertainment, where she manages emerging local music artists. A proud foodie and devoted mom to her teenage daughter, Sasha Isabella, Rebekah still finds time for family, church, social justice, advocacy, and cheering on her alma mater, the Southern University Jaguars and the Indiana Pacers.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. We have a lot in common. So I have a teenage daughter.
Okay.
Who is obsessed with everything Creole. And I always say, like, Cajun, she should have been born Cajun because she loves Cajun food. She loves, like, when I was pregnant, I craved Cajun food all the time. It's just different flavor, right? Like, it's a different flavor palette. And so I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, you're speaking to my heart. And I'm the same way. We go to New Orleans, Louisiana, once a year, every year, because we love the culture of Louisiana and the history. So anywho, all right. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today. I've read a little bit, but I want to dig in.
Yeah, for sure. So hi everyone. I am Rebekah. I grew up here in Louisiana. I was born in New Orleans. I moved around a little bit, but I consider Baton Rouge home because this is where I've been the longest out of everywhere that I've lived. As Teresa mentioned, I have a 16-year-old, and that has been an interesting journey navigating that, teenage emotions, all of this that's happening with technology and all the things that we have for our teenagers now that was not present when I was a teenager. And so, it's a little different. It's a different ride. And, owning and operating and managing and doing all of these business ventures that I have, I try my absolute best to practice some self-care, to be as intentional and present at all times, whether I'm with family, friends, or whatever. I just try to dial in and, if it's something that I'm able to connect in and be present in and be there, I'm there. If it's something that's going to take too much out of my mental social meter, I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not going to make it. So that's where I am with that. That's how I got here.
Yeah, that's so important. So we were talking about this earlier. This episode is going to air around the end of the month, but right now it is earlier in the month, and I'm actually doing a series right now on breaking free from burnout on my Facebook, because for a long time, I lacked those boundaries that you're talking about. And I was
Yes,
doing all the things. Like
yes.
I went back to college when when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So her entire life, I was juggling undergrad, master's programs, work, side hustles,
Mhm,
all the
mhm.
things, and still trying to be there 100% for family, friends, all that. And
Yes.
I was burning out. I was, even though like
Mhm,
I love being around my family, I love doing social things. I was burning out because
mhm.
I was giving away way too much of myself.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and it wasn't until I adopted your mindset
Mhm.
of if it takes too much from me, I have to say no.
Yeah, and that social meter is real. I think people have now framed it to where, they're saying they're overstimulated or the anxiety is high or whatever. And so that is your social meter. Like if you get to a space and you literally have to sit in your car to hype yourself or prep yourself to go into that space, it's costing you too much. You're expending too much energy. If you're excited to be there, you can't wait to get there. You're hopping out the car, then that's the place that you want to be because you're going to naturally just have a good time. And it's just not going to take so much out of you to be present and engage with people. And so I think a lot of times we, out of obligation, show up for these events, whether it's family or whatever. We're just there because this is my aunt, this is my grandma, this is my mom, my dad, whoever. And we're dying on the inside. We're so mentally exhausted that we're just like no good being there.
Yeah. And that that's something that I struggle with my clients with all the time. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
have to go. You
Yeah.
don't have to go.
Correct. Correct.
Is anybody going to die if you don't show up?
Maybe, but if they do, what can you do? Their time, right?
It was their time to go. I tell my clients if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And I got to a phase of burnout. So a little backstory. I went through a highly functional depression late 2021. It was a lot of things that happened back to back in my life that I just was not mentally prepared for. My best friend passed away from cancer. I had a relationship that ended kind of abruptly. And then one of my parents had gotten very, very sick, and it was just like a long road of recovery. So, in the process of trying to process all of those emotions and all of those things and the ups and downs of all of that, I just was in a space where I still had to show up for work. I still had to be mom. I still had all of these social events and people inviting me to come and do this and do that. So I'm smiling and I'm laughing and I'm having a great time, but on the inside, I'm dying. I get home and I'm falling apart. I'm in my car, crashing out, falling apart, And so once I was in a space where I had to tell someone what was going on with me, and be honest with myself about my feelings and trying to navigate where I was, I did seek a therapist that kind of helped me to put some things into perspective. And so from there, dealing with all of that, I started all of these businesses. And so I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving. And I got to 2022 and I'm exhausted because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've started this business. I've taken on this client. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm working, I'm showing up here. And so the burnout came to where I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do podcasts. I didn't want to go to these events. I didn't want to get dressed up and go to dinner. I just want to be on my sofa. And it slowed me down enough to realize and recognize I have to be accountable for my feelings. I have to be accountable for my mind because if I continue to go insane, it's not helping anything. It's not helping anyone. And so the burnout helped me to reevaluate what's important. What do I need to put my time and energy to? And how can I redirect some of these businesses to where I can combine them or either just let them go? If it's meant for me to have or meant for me to do, it'll circle back. And so, fortunately, here in 2025, a lot of things have just come back to me naturally to where I'm able to now put into different spaces and compartmentalize and be more organized and be more present and not have that do I have to be there? Hell no type moments. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be there. Like I'll be there first. I'll open the so that is where we have, as humans, we have to take our mental health seriously. We have to know when enough is enough. And we have to know when we're getting to that burnout to at least trust someone enough to say, this is too much for me. I can't handle all of this. And I need you to step in for me and hold me accountable for my self care.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have read We Should All Be Millionaires
No.
by Rachel. I forget her last name. I'm going to pull it up on my Facebook because I follow her. And so she's always like the top of my page. But oh, yep, there
Mm-hmm.
she was. Literally, Rachel Rogers wrote a book
Okay.
called We Should All Be Millionaires. And I've been telling everybody about it. A business coach actually suggested that I read it. And
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is a biracial woman. She's half black, half white.
Okay.
And her primary focus is making millionaires out of women, but especially with minority women. And
Yeah.
in her book, she talks about quit making broke ass decisions
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
versus $1 million decisions. And one of the broke ass decisions that she talks about is not prioritizing our self care, not delegating. She talks about
Mm-hmm.
delegating. She's like, I know you think you can't afford it right now, but you can't afford not to.
Yes.
And she was specifically talking about like having a housekeeper, having a
Mm-hmm.
someone come in and clean your house once a week, twice a week, or once every 2 weeks or once a month, something. She's like, if you sit down and look at how much time you are spending doing the dishes, doing the laundry, mopping the
Mm-hmm.
floor, like that is, if each one of those takes an hour, that's 3 hours a week, or, 7 hours for the dishes if you do them every single day and it takes you an hour. She's like, think about it. Like you aren't asking for help. And that's why you feel like shit all the time. She
Absolutely.
cusses a lot in her book,
Absolutely.
but but it's true. Like we aren't recognizing the symptoms or the signs of burnout until we're hitting the wall like
Yes.
you did.
Yes.
And that has got to stop. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
that is, I'm so glad that people like us who are high achievers, who are doing a lot, are talking about, hey, I was burned out. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot, but I am in a much better place because
Absolutely.
I stopped, paid attention to the signs that my body was sending me, the signals my body was sending me, and did something about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, we go through moments of, I'm just tired because you just need a nap, or you just may have had a lot on your plate that day and just you needed some time to breathe. Um, Emotional maturity comes with, instead of sitting at the laptop at a table all day, take your laptop outside for a little bit. Or, maybe you just need to take a lunch break, go sit outside, get some sunshine, have a drink or whatever, whatever. Uh, just prioritizing yourself and not allowing what your work schedule or what you have to do to dictate how you feel throughout the day. The last couple of weeks, I've been in a space where when I get up in the morning, I do my gratitude. I thank God for what I have. I've started to do on YouTube. It's a playlist called like Cozy Cafe, where it's just like lo-fi music in the background. I just found out yesterday that it was all AI generated, which blew my mind. I had no idea. Because I was like, man, this is a great song. Like, let me add this to my playlist. And it's like, it's AI generated. That's crazy to me. But even with that, that was something that was small. It was significant to me because it was like a mind thing, like, oh, wow, I really enjoyed this, and I wanted to add it to more of my routine. But outside of that, just sitting outside with my laptop, with my lo-fi playing, and I was so productive and I got a lot done. And I sat outside till almost 8:30 last night. And so it was just like this was a good day. I was productive. I did everything I needed to do. Whatever I couldn't finish, it's okay for tomorrow. I don't feel pressure. And that's where the burnout and the overwhelming and the crash outs come, because we get too caught up in our minds about what we have to do today.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you brought that up. Lo-fi, that the Cozy Cafe is one of my favorite playlists.
Mm-hmm.
During the winter, the graphic is like a fireplace. And I don't have so I work in my front living room. This is my office. And so I don't have a fireplace in here, but I have a fireplace in the back living room. But everything, my whole setup is in here. So when I can't go work on that couch, I put on that Cozy Cafe and have the ambiance of the fire.
Absolutely.
And I get my hot chocolate or my coffee or my hot tea and I work here. It is amazing the difference that small changes like that can make to your day. Like you said, go outside and work. I took my old dining room table that I had since my daughter was in kindergarten, and she's a senior now. And we were going to get rid of it. We got a new table. We were going to get rid of it. And I said, no, you know what? We've been wanting to create an outdoor eating space in this house since we bought it. And we bought the house in 2017. But my husband's very frugal. So splurging on patio furniture was not at the top of the list. So we hadn't done it. So I went to Home Depot and I got spray paint and water sealant and I got plastic wrap and I wrapped the cushions in plastic. I spray painted the entire table to match my patio awning. I water sealed it, and now my daughter and I actually eat breakfast out there every morning. So we have a new routine like you do. And this is part of my self-care. And I tell people, unless it is blood, fire, or flood, this is what I'm doing. I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going for a walk with my daughter because she goes to college in August. So I'm not going to have her anymore.
Yes.
So I'm soaking up the time. We go for a 30-minute walk. We come back. I make breakfast. We go sit out on that table and eat breakfast and talk or watch a show on her phone or whatever we want to do for 30 minutes. And then we go get ready. And that makes me feel like $1,000,000. It makes me feel like I am winning. And it is a small change that I made. And it helps me walk into the day not already overwhelmed by the to-do list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I may have to incorporate that. I love that.
I highly suggest it. It has been a game changer. And our walk is just a leisurely walk. Like, we're not out there to lose weight. We are literally and if both of us are exhausted and we don't really feel like going out for the whole 30 minutes, we just make sure we go around our block, maybe one more, and then come back. And we take it easy. It's no pressure. But it makes me feel successful because for years working in corporate, I longed for the ability to be like the Full House family that had breakfast together in the mornings before everyone went running, off for the day. And this gives me that. And it's not big. I mean, sometimes we just have yogurt and granola.
It's something, and it's creating memories. It's creating that I remember sitting outside with mom, like that type of moment, and it creates nostalgia when she gets older. And I love that.
Yeah, but it's little tweaks that we've been able to make. And you talked about having lunch outside. Same thing. When I was working at corporate, like, you go in at 8, 9 o'clock and you don't get out till 5, 6 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah. And you're eating at your desk, probably.
Yes.
Understandable. Yes.
Yes.
Did that.
That's what I try to get my clients. That's the first little change I try to make with them is, can you stop eating at your desk?
Yeah. I'm guilty of that. I was guilty of that. I worked in state government for about 6 years before I transitioned to the nonprofit space. And so I'm very familiar with that 8 to 4:30. You go to lunch at maybe 11:30, eat, and then you're still working and eating, and like you're not taking that time to just stop and decompress. You just it's the rat race. Like I said, it's the on the go, on the go, on the go. And so now that I'm in a space that I prayed for and I asked God for this space of, somewhere I can work remotely anywhere in the world, I have the flexibility to be more present for my family. My parents are getting older, so I want to be able to spend more time with them and help them with some things. And so once the Lord saw fit to bless me with it, now I'm like, okay, I got it. Let me get routine going so I can be productive and manage all the things that I need to do. And so that's when incorporating those small changes, like you mentioned, happened. And since I've been doing that, it's just been a lot smoother of a day for me. I'm not so on edge. I'm not waking up in a panic, like, oh my God, I gotta check my email. I'm just like, all right, I've made my mushroom coffee. I got my cozy cafe going. Let me sit. Let's get the day going. So it takes the tweaks, and you have to be dedicated to those tweaks because it's not going to be immediate results, but it's going to eventually give you some results that you're going to feel better about as you go.
For sure. I do mushroom coffee too. That's why I was like, "Ah,
Yeah,
I do
I just
mushroom."
started. It's been
Which
about
brand
10 weeks.
which brand do you use? Rise? Okay. Okay. I use Brain Hack Cafe. And I really like it. It doesn't taste like dirt because
Hmm.
I found that some of them do taste like dirt. I haven't tried Rise. That's the only one I haven't tried.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
like it. Like I said, I like it. It's been about 2.5, maybe almost 3 weeks. I did kind of ask around, to some people, what brands and stuff, because there's so many out there now. And I said, well, I'm gonna just give them a shot and see what happens. And so far, I like it.
Yeah. And this is totally off topic, but kind of not. But I didn't so um I have a torturous bowel, which means my large intestine is wavy. If you're not
Okay.
watching the camera, I'm kind of making a wave sign with my hands, but
Hmm.
my large intestine is not flat. Like most people's is
Gotcha.
like the inside of a straw.
Hmm.
Mine is
Hmm.
like the inside of a bendy straw. The little
Gotcha.
crook
Yes.
on the bend. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I struggle with constipation, bloating, inflammation, all the crap, like all the bad
Hmm.
things, right? And so for years, and this is TMI, but maybe it'll help somebody out there because
It'll help somebody.
we don't talk about digestive issues enough,
Correct.
especially
Right.
in minority cultures.
Yes. Absolutely.
But so I would have bouts of constipation and then bouts of diarrhea. Like that was
Hmm.
my whole life. For a while, like my stomach was hurting. I had pain in my side of my stomach. I thought I was dying of liver cancer. Like I was like,
Oh.
oh God, like something is wrong with my liver or my
Hmm.
pancreas because it was that side of my stomach. Like I was freaking out and I started taking stuff out of my diet. And then
Okay.
I took out the coffee
Oh, wow.
and started just doing like herbal tea or Earl Grey tea or English
Hmm.
breakfast
Yes.
because I still needed that like something warm, little
Hmm.
kickstart in the
That little
morning.
boost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And my stomach issues got better.
Okay.
And I was really looking for something that I could drink that was coffee but that would have other benefits like
Hmm.
brain health
Yes.
because Alzheimer's runs in my family on my mom's side, so I want to take care of my brain.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then in my gut, I wanted something that would also care for my gut, and that's how I found mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's everything there that you just mentioned: digestion, brain health, energy, also like a metabolism booster, just something that kind of helps you to feel full, but not like, oh, I cannot eat for 6 days. Just something that overall just made you feel better and got you through the day until the next. I'm a new coffee drinker. Like it's only been probably like 4 or 5 years because I am an avid tea drinker. I like hot tea, cold tea, sweet tea, unsweetened tea, whatever. And so I'm still new to the coffee space. And so what made me decide to get toward the mushroom coffee is I was trying to get away from the creamers, like the flavored creamers, because they have so much preservatives and additives and all of that stuff that's actually terrible for you. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get it, and then it's in my Walmart cart. So then I'm still drinking it. And so the mushroom coffee, just of course social media, and when you think about it, it keeps popping up. So just watching people talk about, they didn't have the bloating, and they, really enjoyed their cup of mushroom coffee, and then they still was able to function throughout the day. I was like, okay, I can dig that. So here we are.
Yeah, yeah. So Brain Hat Cafe, I don't know if Rise has this, but Brain Hat Cafe has a latte version. And
Okay.
so it when you scoop it out and add the water, it looks creamy like a
Mhm.
latte and it's a little sweeter. I
Yeah.
do the black version because
Okay.
I add soy milk because yeah, that's part of my plan. But I brought all that up to say that a lot of times we have symptoms, but we're
Hmm.
not paying enough attention to realize what that root cause is.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, with me with the coffee, it was causing me all these digestive issues. I was cranky. I was
Mm.
not able to sleep well because I was drinking espresso at like 2 in the afternoon. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I had all these symptoms and signs, but I wasn't paying attention to the root cause. So I couldn't fix the problem. And I think there's a lot of mamas, dads, men, women, whatever,
Mhm.
who are also struggling and they haven't quite figured out why.
Yeah, you said exactly the correct thing. It's the root cause. It's identifying the issue. How do we get to the source of the problem so we can treat the problem? Um, Digestion, headaches, stress, a lot of that is from something. What is holding you hostage? Is it being overwhelmed with work? Is it a family issue? Is it a personal issue? Is it something that you can manage, something that you can make a change? Like we both said, we wanted to still have that boost of morning routine with a coffee or a tea type beverage, but we also knew that what we were drinking was harmful for our bodies. And so we made the change to do something different. And so we have to kind of take accountability and look at everything. What are we doing? Is it our social circles? Is it the places we frequent? Is it our job? And I know in this economy in today's time, jobs are kind of, a soft spot for some people, but sometimes your job can literally be killing you. And you have to be real with yourself to say, I have to make a change and I have to do better, because if you die, they're going to replace you in 2 to 3 days. Your position is going to be posted on Indeed or wherever, very soon. So you have to prioritize yourself. What's more important, this job or your health and your long-term ability to take care of your family, your friends, the people that love you and support you? Um, I know some years ago, I was like very, very in a weird space. Like I was very overweight. I look like a meatball. I'm only 5 feet. So, a person that's 5 feet, that's 230 pounds, I look like a meatball in my eyes. And so I just got to the point where there were things in my house that I was just like, everybody's unhappy. We're all miserable. I need to make a change. If I make the change, then the changes will come. And so I joined the gym. I started walking around my neighborhood. The boyfriend that I had at the time got rid of him. I went to a different church, like, just different things that I had to do to bring a level of peace into my home, not just for myself, but for my daughter. And so once I made those changes, like everything just seemed to just kind of open up. And it was like, wow, that was holding me back. This relationship was holding me back. This church was holding me back, and I made those changes and everything just started to fall into place, and it got better from there. And so I think we have to, I keep saying, hold yourselves accountable, because it's you have to make the decision to say, I want to change this, I want to change that. And sometimes in those changes, people's feelings will get hurt, but you have to put yourself first. That's a part of your self-care. You have to think about you and what you want and how it's going to make you feel at the end of the day. And you want to look back 5 years from now when you're a millionaire, or you're, wherever you are in your life, and you look back and you're like, wow, I'm glad I took that small step to make that change, and look where I am now.
Yes. Yeah. That is so powerful. It's so true. I try to tell my clients all the time, self-care is not selfish. It is
Yes,
necessary. It is a
very much.
absolute necessity. I was trying to say
Absolutely.
necessary and necessity at the same time, and in my brain
It's
was
all
like,
of it. All of it. Yes.
but it is an absolute necessity because how are you going to be your best anything
Hmm.
if you're not putting yourself first?
Right.
I used to get crap from my family all the time because I was a single mom 9 months after my daughter was born. I was
Hmm.
in school full time, working at the time part time as a waitress, and then ended up having to go full time because her dad got sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Hmm.
And so people used to always give me crap because I would take her to daycare even if I was off
Yeah.
because I needed time to myself because I had one day off during the week and one day off during the weekend. That was it. So
Hmm.
on the weekend, daycare was closed. So that meant I had to have her. I had to have her
Of
with
course.
me.
Of course.
And so on that weekday when I was off, I took her to daycare and I would go sit at a coffee shop and study. I would go
Hmm.
sit in the park and read. I would go meet up with friends for coffee or lunch.
Hmm.
And people would be like, that's so selfish. You need to have her with you. And I'm like, no, I can't take care of her if
Yeah.
I don't have some me time to
Uh-huh.
refuel myself, refresh myself, and feel like more than just a worker, a student, and a mom.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's interesting you say that because our stories kind of parallel each other, minus the 15 years in prison. But the point the point is like I did the same. My daughter's father and I, we were together for a while, and of course, like some relationships, they don't work out. And so in that process, becoming a single parent, I was in grad school, I was still teaching, I'm trying to raise her. And so when it was time for me to have a day off or it was spring break for the kids or whatever, she was still at daycare. Like, I'm already paying for this service. Like, why disrupt her routine because I have nothing to do today? So let me have nothing to do today. Because when I pick her up from daycare, I'm back into mommy mode, and it's okay. Um, and like you said, it's okay to be selfish for yourself. You have to find that balance of putting yourself first. You have to find that balance of just saying, I don't feel like doing that today, and be okay with it. Like, don't let other people pressure you into what your idea lifestyle is going to be. I do feel that a lot of people, if they had opportunities to get that break, to put the kids with the grandparents or with the daycare or wherever, they would absolutely take that. They would absolutely love that. And I've also noticed where a lot of people will say things because they're projecting what they want to do and they're not able to. And that is usually where the truth is. It's like you really want to be able to do what I'm doing, but you can't. So you kind of, give a little jabs of shade, like, to make me feel bad about it. But Rebecca's not gonna feel bad about it.
I know that's right. No, and I think it is, we have to start looking at paying attention to what our mind, our heart, and our body is telling us because the
Yes.
signs are there.
Hmm.
if you're if a nap doesn't help you recover from the exhaustion, the tiredness, then that's a cue that there's
You
something
need more
deeper
rest.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. If,
Yeah.
a good cry session in the shower doesn't make you feel better,
Oh yeah.
then it might be time to seek some professional help,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
But
Your
we're not.
friends are great, but sometimes you need more dialed in, professional, trained, certified help. I love my girlfriends. They're the best. I love my best friends. I love my boyfriend. I love all these people. But sometimes they can't quite get to the bottom of it. It's more like a band-aid or like a paddling to say, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be fine, whatever. But you're still not getting to the root of the problem. And that therapist or that counselors going to be able to kind of navigate those emotions to help you find out why you're feeling this way. So I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, what do you do these days?
Oh my gosh, for myself as far as self-care or just in general?
Well, okay, so let's do in general, and then I want you to leave the listeners with 3 self-care tips.
So in general, like I said, I found where I will so just outside to my back patio. I live in southern Louisiana, so right now it's like 75, 80 degrees in early April. So it gets warm. So the weather, it's nice right now. And so finding spaces to where I can get out of the home, get out of my area, like you said, maybe a coffee shop, maybe lunch. Um, I will also add the small little tidbits, like I mentioned about the cozy cafe, or just taking a break to do a podcast or do a break to do some content or something, and then go back into whatever else is on my task to do. But the three main components that I want to share is that number one, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to find what is bugging you, what is something that you absolutely know you have to change, you have to let go of. And if it's a struggle for you, then that is something you need to dial in a little bit more and find out, why is it so hard for me to let this go? Whether that's, a person, a place, or a thing, you have to find out what is the hold that whatever this is that is taking over your life, that's draining you so much. Why? The next thing would be definitely finding some professional services that can help you to dial in. If you're having back pain and you never go to a chiropractor, you're always going to have back pain, right? So you have to go to a specialist or someone who specializes in this particular area to help you get to the root cause so you can get better, so that you can be better. I believe we all want to live a fabulous life. And so if we're still in spaces where we're stuck and we're not happy and we're not getting the results that we need, you're not going to get to that next level still holding on to things that are holding you back. And then lastly, I would say change your environment. If you're surrounding yourself with people that don't believe in you, that don't pour into you, that don't just want to see the best in you, that's not taking from you, then that's not your people. That's not your community. I believe that, as humans, we are created to have community and to be with one another and to have relationship. But if that relationship is not fulfilling and it's not as impactful and encouraging and empowering, that's not your community. You need to find another group. It's easier said than done because we're habits of, we're creatures of habit. So we like routine, we like our people. But sometimes you have to expand. So if that's going to a networking event, if that's going to a happy hour somewhere at a restaurant or a hotel or somewhere that you're not familiar with, that's how you grow. And that's how you get to meet people that can, help usher you into your next level of life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You tapped on all of the things that I try to tap onto is like accountability,
Mm-hmm.
recognition, recognizing what's really going on, digging in to get to the root cause,
Yes.
changing your people, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is
Mm-hmm.
so important. Um, I think that's amazing. So where can people find you if they want to
Yeah.
connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook at Rebekah E. Brumfield, Instagram at Rebekah with the K. I always just tell people it's easier just to type in my name in Google. Something will come up, whether it's a foodie review, maybe my LinkedIn page, something from YouTube, whatever. That's how you can find me. Or you can just go to my webpage, which is RebekahBrumfield.com.
Awesome. And what kind of content do you put out? One last
Um,
question.
so it's like food, lifestyle, travel. I am a foodie. I love food and drink. I love to explore new places, new restaurants. So it's typically going to be something that's with here within the area of Louisiana. I do travel to Michigan pretty frequently to visit family there. So sometimes it is a bit travel, but it's more so like food content, just things going on, things that I like to do, just authentically me. I like to always say that who I am online, my social media presence is exactly who I am in person.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna go follow all your things because I
Thank
think
you.
we're already friends on Facebook. But I am a fellow foodie and a
Yes.
traveler, and I love your energy, your personality. You brought such good information today, and I
Thank you.
appreciate it. It's real. It's
Yes.
raw. It's actionable. I think we left the listeners with some things that they can actually do. They
Mhm.
can go out and they can start making these changes. And if you get to the root cause or what you think is the root cause and you are struggling to make those changes, reach out to me. This is actually what I specialize in is helping you figure out why you can't break free from those things. But go follow Rebekah, go look at all her foodie stuff, and I'm sure her content is inspirational because you are inspirational and you've
Thank
been an
you.
amazing guest. I appreciate it. All right. Well, everybody, until next week, be well, be kind, and may you find some joy this week. Bye.